a shadowy figure watching from an abandoned home, lingering just beyond sight. Unexplained noises drifted through closed windows of normally bustling buildings. Now, silence made flesh. These bone-chilling stories demanded to be shared, but heed this warning. Once you've heard what others have seen and heard while locked in a constant state of unease, you may start noticing movements just out of view, too. As the first shelter-in-place orders were issued in March 2020, an eerie silence fell across once bustling towns and cities worldwide. For most, lockdown offered a haven from the mounting COVID threat outside. But isolation wasn't without its perils, unleashing terrifying ordeals for some that would haunt them long after restrictions were lifted. In a small farming village just outside Madrid, 37-year-old Ana Gonzalez lived alone, caring for her elderly mother, Maria. The quiet solitude had been welcoming at first, after a busy career as a schoolteacher. But one night in late April, a strange pounding on their front door awoke both women with a start. Peering through the peephole, only darkness could be seen outside. Dialing emergency services with shaky hands, Ana retrieved the largest kitchen knife for protection as pounding resumed, more forceful. Before help arrived, the stout wooden door flew open with an explosive crack, banging against the wall. In the doorway stood a disheveled, wild-eyed man clutching an axe above his head. She reacted on instinct, slashing out with the knife just in time to graze his shoulder. A savage brawl ensued as Maria screamed in horror, drawing several neighbors who subdued the attacker with difficulty. Gasping for breath, Ana learned he was a local farmer known to have schizophrenia, but had stopped treatment amid the pandemic's chaos. Locked indoors in weeks in a manic state, without medication, he'd snapped, seeking unknown prey under cover of darkness. In Milan, Italy, 35-year-old ICU nurse Lorenzo Bonfanti worked grueling overnight shifts, treating a constant stream of critical COVID patients. Haunted by the horrors he witnessed, he suffered from vivid nightmares in his small apartment, with shadowy figures jeering as he struggled to stay awake, too afraid to sleep. Seeking help from overworked doctors, they diagnosed severe acute PTSD and exhaustion caused by extreme prolonged stress on the front lines. But talk therapy and medication brought little relief as the shadow presence only intensified, threatening to drive him to the brink of madness. Concerned for his well-being, fellow nurses held an intervention, insisting Lorenzo take indefinite leave to escape the city that had slowly been torturing his mind in isolation. Thousands of miles away, in a high-rise apartment in Manhattan, New York, 27-year-old architect Sara Chang lived alone as lockdown measures transformed the concrete jungle into an abandoned ghost town. For weeks, only the occasional police siren or ambulance below pierced the deafening silence gripping the empty streets. That was until one night in early June when Sara awoke to strange, scratching noises echoing through the wall directly beside her bed. Heart racing in terror, she scouted the dimly lit rooms with a heavy book clutched as a weapon, finding nothing. Dismissing it as a stressed imagination, Sara eventually dozed fitfully again, only to be jolted awake by more dragging, clawing sounds, now coming from inside her walls. Calling 911 amid panic attacks became routine, but the unexplainable disturbances always ceased by the time authorities responded, frustratingly. Weeks passed with no further occurrences until one fateful night, Sara stumbled upon blueprints for her century-old apartment building while cleaning, noting several walled-up rooms in the basement level that had always been a mystery. Rumors from elderly neighbors of secret underground spaces connected decades ago now crept back, unsettling her further alone in the nightly silence. The shadows linger long after the tales are told, but more disturbances in the darkness call out, craving to be shared. Subscribe to be the first to know when we expose more disturbing visitations, born of lockdown's quiet. Like, share, because this is only the beginning. See you in the dark.